what will happen if you accept both life and death. If you accept both life and death, immediately a silence will come to the mind. Silence is the fragrance of total acceptance. Silence is the fragrance of total acceptance. Immediately a silence will come to the mind because they negate each other. Life will negate death, death will negate life. Life and death both will disappear when you accept them together. The moment you accept the presence of life and death together, both will disappear. You have transcended. You have gone beyond. Or reject both. Neither life exists or nor death exists. It is the same thing, but it is a negative approach of looking at the thing. Acceptance is the positive approach of looking at the thing. Transcendence means going beyond a duality. Neither good exists nor bad exists. Neither good exists nor bad exists, or both exist together. The moment you accept that man has certain things good and certain things bad, or you accept that he has neither good nor bad, then disturbance will not be there. We accept only a part of the person of your spouse, and the other part we reject, and that creates the disturbance, misery and conflict. The moment I accept you as both, or negate both. When I negate both means you are consciousness. Consciousness has nothing to do with good and bad, right and wrong. Consciousness is just consciousness. Transcendence means going beyond duality. Good and bad, right and wrong. Nothing is good, nothing is bad. Look at the wall. Is there anything higher or lower? Look at the wall in front of you in your room. Can you give a demarcation of this is lower, this is higher? My way is the foundation is hidden, you do not see the foundation which supports the wall. The wall does not support itself, it is the foundation that supports the wall. What is lower is the beginning of the higher. Lower is the beginning of the higher, and what is higher? Higher is the culmination, the end, up to what this wall has potential to grow. Or this wall is destined, is planned to go up to this height. Like you look at the residential building, walls are supposed to go to a certain height. The lower can go only up to a height. When there is a commercial building, the walls go higher because that is what the planning is. So according to this individual has to reach up to this height. He cannot go beyond that. That is beyond the capacity of this person. So he cannot grow more than that. But just as in the wall, it is only for convenience sake we define a certain portion as lower and certain portion as higher. If you have to hang a picture, we cannot hang it in the lower part of the wall, only for convenience, only for practical purposes. But in reality, wall is one piece, no higher, no lower. So every individual is one piece, no higher, no lower, no good, no bad. Both exist in harmony with one another. Can the wall exist without the foundation? And then when the foundation comes above the ground, then brick by brick the wall is built up. The first block will support the next block. Without the first row of the blocks above the ground, the second block cannot be put. So first block supports the second block supports the third. Just as look at the steps in your house. Can you define the staircase as one piece, neither lower or higher. The first step, without the first step, the second step cannot be built. Can you skip the first step and build the second? No. You cannot start from the top. Put the top block first, then the one block. You have to start from the below. The age grows from 0 to 1 up to what age you have to attain will depend on your understanding, how you take care of yourself with exercise, food and everything. So in the staircase, the first step comes, then second, and third, fourth, and the last step. So the similar thing when you are building a wall in front of you, you have to start from the beginning, from the zero. So when the process of transformation begins, I have to start from the zero. This space that is there where you want to build the steps, a staircase, has a capacity to build a staircase. In the same way, when an individual comes to a master knows he is like an empty space. In this space, I will have to start building these steps one by one until he attains the culmination, beyond which is not within his level of intelligence or the role that he has been assigned. So, when the moment you accept both life and death, immediately silence comes to you. Now you can understand this very well. The conflict that was there in the first step and the last step is no more there, because you realize that without the first step, the staircase is the journey from first step to the last. Each step supports the other to complete the staircase. Then what will happen? Will there be a conflict in you? Or you will build let's say there we are doing the railing around the staircase. Would you do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 one way, 5 to 6, 5 to 7 in a different deco? You paint it in one color. You decorate it one way, because this staircase is one piece. The same is with life. Transcendence means going beyond duality, lower and higher, life and death, good and bad, day and night. The night ends in a day, and day culminates into the night. Dusk, and dusk culminates into night. Then the same way, when night is coming to an end, first there is a dawn. Dawn explodes into daybreak. Then the various parts of the day come. When you accept both or reject both, attachment falls. Do you remain attached to the dawn or daybreak? You accept both. You do things which are to be done during dawn. There are things which you have to do during the daybreak. Then there are things that you have to do during the morning, the pre-morning period, then post-morning, then midday, then afternoon, dusk, the evening, the dusk, and the night. All are bound by each other like in a synergistic harmony. When you accept both or reject both, attachment falls. The moment dawn comes, you enjoy it. You enjoy the beauty of the dawn every moment. You are not attached to dawn, you know it very well. Soon dawn will culminate into daybreak. So then you do certain things in daybreak. This is how suddenly you float into the third dimension of the being, where neither life is nor death. And that dimension is the dimension of liberation, transcendence. Buddha called it as nirvana. That is moksha. That is where both dualities are no more. The wall is standing in front of you. In your house there is a staircase reminding you that I stand here as liberation. It bridges the lower floor, the ground floor to the first floor. It connects both. What it is transcendence. When you move from the ground level to the first floor, you can use this staircase. Isn't it nirvana? Isn't it liberation? Isn't it freedom? This staircase is a symbol of freedom from one floor to the other, where both dualities are not. When you stand over this staircase, you are neither on the ground floor nor on the first floor. You are simply on the bridge that connects both, a passage to move from the ground floor to the first floor. Look at the reality, the practical aspect of it. So each time when you are climbing up the staircase, you will remember the words. Remember this message, and that alone will become a way for transcendence, where both dualities are not, but oneness is there. And that oneness, a staircase connects two floors. This is oneness. It stands there in your living room, in your house, as a symbol of oneness. And this in this situation of spirituality known as ishness. And unless you transcend, you will always be in misery. If there is no staircase in your house, you will be in misery. You don't know how to move from the ground floor or the first floor to the second floor. Life will be miserable. We built a staircase in our house, but we do not build a staircase in our physiology, in our psychology. You can change your attachment from this to that, but you will again be in misery. Attachment creates misery. Rejection also creates misery. Whatsoever you choose, it is up to you. You can choose a positive path or negative. Krishna chose the positive path. Accept both. Krishna says, Sitoshna Samadukha, one who is equipoised amidst the dualities. Sheet means cold, Ushna means summer. Hot and cold is equally balanced, accepting both, equipoised. Or you can choose a path like Buddha, who says reject both, but do something with both together. And when you do something with both, you created a staircase between the ground floor and the first floor. That is transcendence. That is transcendence. But do something with both ground floor and the first floor, that is, then transcendence follows immediately. You have a freedom to be on the ground floor or on the first floor. You can freely move from the ground to the first to the ground. Isn't it so? Isn't it so easy and simple? Then that even if you think both, there will be transcendence. And if you can do it in the real life, just as you did in your house building the staircase. The other day, you had shown me the picture of your house where you had the shoes taken off before you going up to the first floor. So you were standing near the staircase. And proudly you showed the staircase. Think of both. There will be transcendence. If you can do it in real life as you did in your house, build a staircase to connect the ground floor to the first floor, a new being is born in you. That being does not belong to the life or death. That does not belong to the earth of duality, the ground of duality. That being belongs to an unknown realm, the realm of nirvana. When you stand up, on the staircase, you have a freedom to come down or go up. That is nirvana. Oh,